Hello and welcome back for your daily dose of LOL Esports content, where we're going to cover all four major regions in the games that took place today, and then preview all four major regions tomorrow. If you are a member, I do apologize for publishing that video just a couple minutes ago. That was late night upload issues on my part, misclicked, and I've done that a few times, but this time I screwed up a bit. So 30 people or so got a glimpse maybe into what a members only video is, which is what it is. Predictions 52 and 27 went 11 and 3 on the day in prediction, so had a really good day. We're going to speed run this. So LCK, Gen G, D+, Gen G win 2-1. They go to 4-0. D+, 2-2. Pays 11-6-8. 29% of damage. Canyon was MVP, 1-18. Aiming 11-5-12, 30% of damage in the loss. In games 3 and 4, Canyon was very effective in securing objectives. And that was the major difference in the series. Now, that's not to say Lucid did a bad job. Lucid went around and made things happen. Game 3 I have on here, there were 5 plays. In Game 2, he made 3 plays to Canyon's none on the Maokai. And Lucid was on a rel, I believe, in both 2 and 3. So, I mean, I had somebody this morning, very early in the morning, say he was inting, and I gotta say, I don't think he was inting. I thought he put the ball in his teammates' hands, and they could not run with it. Game 2, Showmaker started off early with a level 1. Or no, maybe the level 1 was Game 1. I don't remember if he was on Silas in Game 2. I have him marked down for Game 1. We're just going to go through this. So, Gen G win because Canyon was effective in Games 2 and 3. KDF, Nongshim, KDF win 2-0. They go to 2-2. Nongshim 1-3. Bulldog was MVP, 8-3-16, 38% of damage. Dudu 3-1-14, had a solo kill. Jiwoo 7-5-7, 37% of damage in the loss. So, Bulldog game 1, 100% KP in a very tight game on the Orianna, cuz on a Nocturne. Early game was definitely in favor of Nongshim. They were very active all over the Rift, but only had a 14 CS lead in bot lane, so it wasn't a blowout. And then in game 2, a very slow game where we saw scaling on the part of Nongshim, but KDF were like, oh no. Draven for Bull was effective. Now, he only dealt like 17% of the team's damage in this series, or at least in that game. Bulldog really coming in clutch. Dudu on the Poppy, like I said, had a solo kill onto Din. Had a 43 CS lead at the end of laning phase at 15 minutes. Andal on the Renata played one of his better games I've seen thus far in his career. Not to say there are many great games out of him, but that one was a good one. Nip IG in the LPL. Nip won 2-0. Very dominant win as Rookie went 18-0-21 with 40% of his team's damage. Fodic 10-1-24. Cryan 1 kill, 13 deaths, 3 assists, 30% of damage. Just complete smashing. Like, they just completely smoked them. YS Cam had a solo kill on the Jax in this one onto Shanji, but Shanji ended up having more impact in both games on the K'Sante. Rookie, a menace, like I said, on the Azir, and then in game 2, I think he was on the Corki. Zhu on Rakan in game 2, I thought was very effective in the early game. Actually got the team ahead and in a good place. It was a nasty series out of Nip. IG just really didn't show up. Tianjin had a 24 CS lead in game 1. They had Zhao Yuji at 80 carry and then put On in game 2. And you do have to give IG's bot lane credit. They had a 30 CS lead in game 2 with On coming into the lineup. But Rookie was just on another level against his former team. LGD, Ultra Prime, LGD win 2-1. Kepler, 6, 10, and 17. 30% of damage. Birdall MVP, 10, 4, 15. Doggo, 6, 6, 16. 32% of damage in the loss. A 3-game banger between these two great teams. So, game 1, Kepler on the Senna really secured the win. Early game, they had a 22 CS lead. At the end of laning phase, LGD actually had a 3.5k gold lead. Sorry, actually, they didn't secure a win in game 1. Doggo and Yukai brought this game back. I take that back. So, Yukai on the Akali. Early game, Kepler got an advantage. That dot on my screen is not not on my screen, on my board is not an MVP dot. They had a 2v2 kill. Kepler and Jin Zhao onto Doggo and Shui. Yukai on the Akali brought this team back because there was a 22 CS lead for LGD, a 3.5k gold lead at 15 minutes. They had a 22 CS lead in the jungle for Meteor over Hacker, and a 20 CS lead for Decade over Birdall. Birdall over Decade. Decade on the K'Sante really secured the win for them after Yukai brought it back with K'Sante things. Game 2, the opposite happened. So, Doggo on the Lucian, very aggressive. Got Ultra Prime ahead. Hacker, very aggressive. All over the Rift, actually, based on what I have here. 21 CS lead for the bot lane, but Haichao on an Akali and Kepler on an Aphelios secured the win. It pretty much, honestly, a mirror of what happened game 1, except the teams were the opposite. Kepler on the Aphelios, it has a terrible KDA here, 6-10-17. But in the late game team fights of game 2, he dealt the most damage, securing objectives. Game 3, long laning phase, 18 minutes, 2k gold lead, 15 CS lead for Meteor. Yukai and the Corki opened this one up, but Haichao on a... I can't even make it out what I wrote. Nico. I think he was on a Nico in game 3. Birdall on the Aatrox was MVP, though. He had triple kill in one of the late game team fights to end it. It was a very slow laning phase because obviously both teams were on a knife's edge. It's game 3 of what might be their only series they'll win this year. So, not year. That was mean. Split. Season. Split. Top Esports EDG. Top win 2-0. Mako against his former team. Dominant off the rip. Getting a 2v2 kill alongside Jackie Love on Leave and Vampire. Senna TK. Cream 17-2-4 was MVP though. 28% of damage. And Mako went deathless 1-0-25. Fisher 393. 34% of damage in the losses. Cream on an Akali and a Tristana ran them over. This was a disgusting 2-0 out of a team of EDG's caliber. Tian on the Xin Zhao paced JJ in game 1. They had a 5.5k gold lead at 12 minutes. This is the biggest blowout game we've seen all year. And we've had some matchups that make you be like, oh my god, this matchup has no chance. Well, game 1 was honestly disgusting. I think Cream had 10 kills before he had an assist. Game 2, pretty dominant as well. I don't even have an EDG player marked down as having anything to be notable in this series. Rumble, 369 on the Rumble, all over the place, affecting mid, affecting bot lane, redeeming himself after that Rumble Worlds performance. Of course, you can't, the magnitude isn't the same, but at the same time he showed, hey, EDG is no slouch, and I'm actually doing quite well on this champion. 20 CS lead for JJ at the end of laning phase in this one, but it's not enough because Cream had a 26 CS lead over Fisher. The Tristana getting around, making things happen. Jackie Love on the Lucian as well. Very aggressive, finding opportunities to deal damage. And, it was not very close at all. LEC, SK Vitality. SK would win. Irrelevant is my MVP because he soaked up a ton of attention out of Douglas, who only dealt 3% of his team's damage in this loss. Exakick 603, 35% of damage. Isma 208. Vethio 032, 35% of damage in this loss. Why do I have these games switched? I guess Games of Legend had it switched out of the order. Regardless, Vitality took 3 trips top. Irrelevant still had a 26 CS lead. At least that's what I think I have here. Yeah, I think SK were ahead in all 4 areas. 3k gold lead at 14 minutes. 16 CS lead in the jungle. 10 CS lead in mid lane. Exakick on the Lucian. Aggressive. I'm going to say that every time I have a Lucian named, because you can see the difference between somebody that's confident on Lucian and not, if they go forward or not. And Exakick was doing that. BDS Heretics, BDS win. They go to 6-1. Nuke MVP 916 on a Nazir, 40% of damage. Adam 617. Wonder 243, 32% of damage in the loss. Adam on a Kesante. Wonder on a Rumble. They did trade solo kills in laning phase. But in the end, BDS were just more effective in team fights, in part due to the Azir. And even Lebrav was like, he was channeling his inner Hylissang today. Had like 5 deaths before he ended up getting 5 assists, like on a rel. It was very Hilly-like, and it worked for BDS. He just dove in there and gave no fucks. And that ended up securing them advantages in team fights where Nuke was able to shuffle and do what he had to do on the Azir to get things done. Mad Lions, Koi Fnatic. Mad Lions would win. Mirwin playing Varus top. This is one of those champions that I thought is what makes Mirwin unique coming into the season. Alvaro was my MVP on the Rakan. I thought he was honestly disgusting outside of maybe one misplay on the champion. Really, really getting that bot lane ahead and also the rest of the team as the game went along. Fnatic would come back. Humanoid on the Corki tried very hard. He went 5-3-6, 45% damage in the loss. Frescowi 9-3-5, 30% of damage in the win. And Suppa 6-2 and 14. Yeah, it was back and forth for a while there. I have 6 players even written down for notes. The bot lane of Mad Lions Koi getting 3 2v2 kills. Like Noah, June struggled. Now June returned the favor when Alvaro, like I said, misplayed, got a little excited on the rel. June on a rel, punishing Alvaro on the Rakan. Mirwin on the Varus, got a solo kill in this one. Humanoid bringing the team back, and then Frescowi finishing it off. A very tight game. One of the more entertaining games of the year. Giant X G2 win after an exciting game. We had a very exciting laning phase that didn't result in much. Giant X actually had a lead in this one, but Caps 410, 30% of damage on a LeBlanc, had a triple kill in the mid game that honestly gave this team the win. Broken Blade 304 had a couple key kills and ultis on the Kesante onto Patrick, who was 424, 32% of damage for Giant X. He was ahead in the laning phase. Peach honestly played one of his better games we've seen in a while in the Sejuani, getting a solo kill at one point after Hans Sama on the Callista and Mickey X on Nico had a 2v2 kill. Patrick on the Xayah, like I said, got them ahead. Caps on the Loot on the LeBlanc gets the triple kill. And BB had 2 key ultis onto Patrick that really set team fights in the right direction for G2. A game that honestly was closer than it should have been. Carmine Corp Rogue, I thought this was going to be the one for KC, but it was not the case. Rogue would win, going to 2-5. Larson 704, 40% of damage in the win. Comp 219 on a Senna. Upset 304, 32% of damage on a Misfortune. I see there's a new copy pasta going around about Upset in his KDA. Got a triple kill as his Nexus was being blown up. So, an Upset special. As far as the game was concerned, Bo actually was very active, went to the bot side 5 times. Really tried to get Upset ahead, but when Upset's not trying to play to win, he's playing for his stats. Things end up kind of tough. They had a 1.1k gold lead, and I thought Bo, honestly, he couldn't have set them up much better in laning phase. Marcoon on the Rel started finding plays as the mid-game transpired. Larson on the Corki laying down damage. Sisgenda on a Gnar. Also key in team fights as the game started coming to a close. And, he had a 27 CS lead over Cabo in top lane. LCS, Dignitas C9. C9 went 3-0. Fudge 309, 31% of damage on a Rumble. Jojo Pune 2112 on a Noriana. Tomo 342, 30% of damage in the loss on an Aphelios. So this game was very tight early on. Laning phase would end at 18 minutes with Cloud9 ahead 3k gold, but Tomo was standing his ground in bot lane on the affiliates. Thought he was playing quite well in the laning phase. He was really the only one to note as we went to mid-game. C9 just outpacing Dignitas without really doing much. It was just kind of one of those situations where they are just simply the better team. Now, when laning phase ended, Blabber on the Nocturne started making plays, and Berserker on the Callista was cleaning things up despite not getting a lot of damage in this one. All 4 areas after laning phase were ahead in CS. Blabber and JoJo both ahead a combined 45 CS over their Dignitas counterparts. 100 Thieves NRG win. They go to 2-1. 100 Thieves 1-2. FBI 619, 30% of damage on Jin. Contracts 229 on a Vi. And Meech 641, 42% of damage on a Varus. It's a high damage share for a Varus. We don't see that often anymore. River and Contracts trading a lot of ganks in the early game. The production had fun with that. But NRG in the end at 18 minutes 15 seconds had a 3.5k gold lead. Lead of 19 CS in mid, 21 CS in bot lane. Laning phase, Sniper had a solo kill on Dokla, Sniper on a K'Sante, Dokla on Jace. Huhi on Ashe had a double kill that kept them in it in laning phase. Contracts on Vi securing kills. And FBI on Jin finishing things off with his ultis. We had a couple decent Jin performances in the LCS today, if there is such a thing. FlyQuest TL. Fly go to 3-0, TL 1-2, Masu MVP 403, 37% of damage, Busio 108 as they played Ezreal Karma. 5-0-11 combined, Yeon 032, 33% of damage on a Lucian Nami. Masu Busio set the tone with a 2v2 kill early, and Bwipo on a Mordekaiser would solo kill Yeon, I think, at one point. He solo killed somebody of importance in this game. At the end of laning phase, FlyQuest were ahead about 1.8k gold. TL were the more active team. They had a CS lead in mid of 15, but it just wasn't going to be enough. APA and the Tristana getting caught out at times. And even then, Fly were just, even like the zoning, it was one of those games where it was just like, it's on a knife's edge, but it's really not. Like, FlyQuest are in control, but it's like this game on paper, the scoreboard does not indicate how much of a diffy there is going on here, as TL just kind of didn't have much going for themselves. Immortals and Shopify Rebellion, a very slow game here, but Immortals still got out to a 2.5k gold lead. Mask and Armeo had 45 combined. So Immortals went to 1-2, by the way. Mask 5-2-10, 34% of damage. Armeo 5-0-13 in the jungle. B-Voy 4-3-3, 31% of damage in his LCS debut. But, like I said about FBI, tactical on the Jin, securing kills, doing well with his ultis. Insanity dove in on a play that he died to an ulti. I was like, why are you doing this? You're so low. Maybe he was going to die either way. Armeo on the Lilia, good sleeps. Active. Castle on the Udyr. When he had to make a play, he made a play. This was a battle of two meh teams. We had the LGD up, KC Rogue, and the Shopify Rebellion Immortals games today, right? So we were mentally prepared for that. Sneak peek for tomorrow, LPL, Weibo Gaming, Thunder Talk. Both 1-0. Weibo come off a win against Rare Atom. Thunder Talk a win against LNG. Last time they played, Weibo won 2-0. 7 of the 10 players remain. Zhaohu Light, 18-7, 32, 54% of damage. UCal 1XN, 11-10-16, 59% of damage. Rare Atom JDG, keep in mind, Flandre is starting over Sheer. JDG's debut of 2024, Rare Atom 0-1, lost to Weibo. Last time they played, JDG won 2-0, half the players are the same. Ruler, 11-7-18, 26% of damage in the win. Assume 13-4-10, 30% of damage in the loss. OMG LNG, OMG 1-1, coming off of a loss to FPX. LNG 0-1, coming off of a loss to ThunderTalk. Last time OMG and LNG crossed paths, LNG would win 2-0. 4 of the 10 players are the same. Gala 15-18, 33% of damage in the win. PP God's the only player from OMG 2023. LCK, Brion DRX. So this is a banger. This is another banger. So we didn't have an LCK banger on Saturday. Don't worry, it's going to start in like an hour. Gen G was so Brion lost to Gen G. DRX lost to FearX. Last time they played, DRX won 2-0. 4 of the 10 starters are the same. Rascal 4-3-14, 17% of damage in a win. Morgan 3-6-3, 20% of damage in a defeat. T1 HLE, T1 2-1, coming off of a win against KT. HLE 3-0, coming off of a win against FearX. Last time they played, HLE won 2-0. 6 of the 10 players are the same. Viper 9-4-15, 30% of damage in a win. Gumiushi 11-6-4, 35% of damage in a loss. Mind you, that was during the Poby times, if you remember those. LEC, so Team Heretics Vitality. Heretics 4-3, Vitality 3-4. Last time they played, Heretics would win. 3 of the 10 players are the same. Flackhead went 5-0-5, 34% of damage in the win. Rogue BDS, so Rogue 2-5, BDS 6-1. Last time they played in 2022, BDS would win, and the mid lane matchup is the same. So Nuke would go 3-1-13, 26% of damage on a Swain, if you recall the Swain meta of 2022. Larson 4-1-3, 26% of damage in a loss. Following that, Fnatic G2, obviously massive rivalry. Last time they played, G2 would win 3-1. 8 of the 10 starters are the same. Yike, Caps, Hansama would go 63, 27, and 114 for 67% of damage in the win. Razor Humanoid Noah would go 40, 52, and 54 for 73% of damage in the loss. Carmine Corp SK, they've never played. Last time Exakick played Upset, Upset would win. He went 5-1-4, 26% of damage. Upset, Exakick 4-4-6, 23% of damage in a loss. LCS. Dignitas 100 Thieves. Last time they played, Dignitas won. 3 of the 10 starters are the same. Tomo 4-1-6, 36% of damage and a win. Cloud9 Shopify Rebellion, never have played, but when Blabber played Boogie when Boogie was on TSM last year, Blabber went 2-1-9, 15% of damage. Boogie 1-3-4, 25% of damage and a loss. NRG FlyQuest, when they played last year, NRG would win. 4 of the 10 players are the same, all on NRG. Palafox 7-0-8, 36% of damage and a win. Team Liquid Immortals to follow to end the day. The Liquid would win. 4 of the 10 starters are the same. Yeon would go 2-1-8, 17% of damage and a win. Tactical 1-5-2, 23% of damage in the loss. So that was a long video. Tomorrow's is probably going to be just as ridiculous. Thank you for watching. If you like the video, like it. Subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. Follow me on Twitter, join the Discord, become a YouTube supporter, and hope to see you again tomorrow.